Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with yet another remake review. And this time I'm doing the Omen 2006, which I remember when this came out. I was in 8th grade, well June, so it was very end of 8th grade. And why do I remember on top of my head that it was June? Because it was 2006, June 6th. Yeah, 666. Actually 6606, but... And literally, I think that is the only reason why this movie was made. It was, hey, remakes are coming out like crazy. This is the only, 666 we're going to have for like another 1,000 years or whatever. Because a lot of people were talking about that. That it was 666. And that is the only reason why I think this movie was made. It's like, hey, we can market the shit out of it for its 666 release date. And even then, there's nothing going for this fucking movie. I saw it when it came out on DVD. Because my parents used to love renting movies. And this was right around the time I was getting into more older movies, not just ones that were coming out. So I said I wanted to see The Omen. And of course, my mom came back with this. And this is just a fucking shitty movie. Now, it's so much like the original. I mean, is it Gus Van Sant's Psycho? No. But it's up there with, like, The Fog. It's just like The Fog. Or even down to dialogue is exactly the fucking same. Now, it was directed by John Moore, who, he's directed, like, Good Day to Die Hard, Max Payne. He's one of those filmmakers where, you go on his Wikipedia, and there's, like, analysis or whatever. He's not like a ooey bowl or, like terrible, but all his movies get pretty much negative reviews. But he's known for being very stylish. And this movie is all style, poor style, but style over substance. Now it stars Julia Stiles, Liev Shrieber, Mia Farrow, David Thewlis, Pete Postlethwaite, and Michael Gambon. Normally that would be a good cast, but every one of them, except for Mia Farrow, despite how limited she is on this. David Thewlis, I don't even know what else he's in, but okay. So Julia Stiles plays Catherine, or Kate as she's calling this. Liev Schreiber plays Robert Thorne. And, it actually opens up with, the Vatican Observatory, and comets are coming. And I'm not even going to go into the plot for this movie, because it's exactly the fucking same. Check out my review for The Real Omen, which was the last video I did. But everything that is done in this movie, if it's trying to be stylish, it fails. It takes away from any kind of intensity. Like, I literally just got done watching it, and I'm already forgetting everything. One of the biggest things on top of my head is how well the cast was in the original. Everyone in this is phoning it in. Liev Schreiber, he was sleepwalking through the whole movie. It got to the part where, Damien's making noise, which in this he's playing a video game. It's like, okay, they're updating it a little bit. He was playing with pool balls and making, loud noise in the original. In this he's playing a video game with the volume loud. I'm like, okay, there's a little something. And that was when I noticed, because the dialogue is all the same, which it is through the whole movie. It literally feels like they're just... How do I want to word this? It feels like they're just saying lines that already exist. They're not trying to do characters. Not any... Robert Thorne's arc in this film, he barely has an arc. Because he's barely a character in this fucking movie. Like, the whole line where he says, Catherine's dead, and I want Damien dead too. In this, well, he says, I want Damien dead as well in this film. But he says it like he's ordering lunch. Like he's saying, like, yeah, I'll have the steak, medium well, fries, and I'll take sour cream as well. That's exact. Everyone's phoning it in. And of course, since it's a remake, it's CGI. I mean, when the priest gets the rod through him, it's all CGI. And it's, instead of just being like quick, like in the original, this one, like, you see the pipe come down this way, then it's like that. Straight drop. It's all CGI. When the photographer Keith gets decapitated, I will say, okay, parts of that looked alright. It was a little too Final Destination-y. You know, because it's not plate of glass, it's guys on the roof working. They accidentally kick over a hammer, falls on this thing that breaks, and then it swooshes down, decapitates him. The makeup on the priest that tells him to go to the cemetery, you know, the one that's burnt and paralyzed, his makeup was a little bit better than the original. That I can give it. And, you know, even though the only movie I've ever seen Mia Farrow in is Rosemary's Baby, which is one of my favorite movies, she's just so underplayed in this. She's barely in it. And one of the biggest flaws was the fucking kid, Damien himself. Because, you know, in the original, Damien, you know, he, even when weird things are going on, he's still smiling and he's still acting natural. Which, you know, The Omen's one of those movies where when you go into it, you already know he's the son of the devil. It was on the posters. So that kind of makes it eerie and creepy, knowing he's the son of the devil, yet he feels like a sweet, natural, innocent kid. With this one, they went way overboard with trying to make him creepy. He always looks like this. He has maybe 2 lines in the movie, and they're always like whispering. Like when they go to the zoo, it's an actual zoo, and the monkeys. Julia Stiles walks up, he's like, "Oh, what's the matter? Do the other kids not want to play with you?" And he's looking at the monkeys, and he's like, "They're afraid." Like, this movie relies on cliches to try to make it creepy, and it fails. And worst of all, it's fucking boring. I found myself, like, reading up on shit on my phone, texting my girlfriend, just... I actually paused it a couple times because I was watching unrelated videos on YouTube. It's boring as sin. I actually had to double check because I wanted to see if it was like a, you know, Andrew Form, Brad Fuller, Platinum Dudes remake. It's not, but holy fuck does it feel like one. This movie's 110 minutes. The original's 111. This feels twice as long. And also, David Seltzer has a writing credit. I don't think he worked on this movie. He's the writer for the original. And that's because everything is so much fucking same. One thing they did add one thing to this that wasn't in the original, that was kind of interesting. After the church freak out, you know, when they're going to the wedding, which even that was done poorly. Liev Shrieber is, talking to Catherine and saying, oh, maybe he's sick, maybe he's come down with something. She says that, and he's like, oh, come on, that kid's never been sick a day in his life. And she's like, exactly, kids get colds, runny noses, flus. He's never had anything wrong with him. And I'm just kind of like, that would be an interesting thing to look into. That's an angle I haven't thought of. Like, oh, yeah, that could be something to build upon. It doesn't. Also, her dreams. Yeah, she has dreams about Damien. And you get, like, cloaked jackal figures like this. And, of course, they're jump scares. This movie's more jump... Granted, I only really counted 2 big jump scares. Of course, what I was paying attention to. Like, her dream, she's standing in the bathroom, and when she shuts the medicine cabinet, it's like, shing! And then it ends. There's nothing going for this. Haunting, a top-notch scary movie, Richard Roper. Why is it critics like these shitty, bland, watered-down movies, yet when really good ones come out, they call them trash because they're horror films? I'm sorry, but I literally got nothing on this movie. It's boring, it's bland, the performances are phoned in. It tries to be stylistic when the original was effective because it tried to be natural. Oh yeah, this one is also more supernatural. Like when the priest is trying to get into the church during the storm before he dies, you see the locks shut. It just makes it more paranormal, supernatural, which took me out of it more. This movie fucking sucks. And the original is one of my favorite films of all time. And this is just another prime example, like The Fog or The Hitcher, where it's just, what did you bring to it? And literally all they were doing was making a product. 666 is coming up. 666 is a big, part of what this movie is. Let's quickly make a movie just so we can release it on that date. That's our gimmick. This is a gimmick film. And yeah, I hate this movie. It's more watchable than like The Fog, but it's in the same realm as The Hitcher. So much of it is the same. What they did different doesn't even matter. And it's completely forgettable. So anyway, that's my review for Omen 2006. Stay tuned for my next video, which I'm going to shoot right now, which is episode 6. Yeah. I honestly didn't plan that till I started watching these today. I was like, fuck it, go with it. Of Reslashed for the Omen. So, thank you for watching.